This time of year, everyone is talking about building into the next year and creating an amazing new year and all of the things that go along with that, setting resolutions, setting intentions, setting goals, doing all this prep work for the next year. So there are three main mistakes that happen every time people are talking about change, be it into a new year or just change in general. Change is a process, and it's not exactly the most comfortable process to go through. And so these three mistakes are very common. I've done them too. I've coached people through them. They are the things that I see come up over and over and over again. So let's expose those mistakes so that you have that awareness as you move into the next year. And then the next videos, we're going to talk about what you do about it so that not only are you avoiding those mistakes, but you're creating a foundation that's going to help you move forward into the future, whatever you want that to look like. So first off, I'm Valerie Friedlander, certified life coach and founder of The Unlimited Mom. And my main work is helping entrepreneurial moms unlock the mindset to make their hustle flow. We're talking about unblocking patterns and helping you move forward towards your goals in an efficient, aligned way. So without further ado, let's dive into what those three main mistakes are. So the first one is that if I just work hard enough, then I will achieve that change. So the idea is that if things aren't the way I want them to be, I'm just not working hard enough. That when we're talking about change, either you're doing something different than what you have been doing, you're changing your behavior, or you're building on to what you've already done. And if you just push and work hard enough, then it'll change. So the reason this is a mistake is because everything that you have is a reflection of who you're being in the world. So what you believe about yourself reacts to the people and situations around you and determines the way you perceive those things. What you perceive determines how you engage, and how you engage determines what you get back, which then reaffirms what you believe about yourself. So you get this cycle going. So when we're focused on the doings, if I just do this, then I will have what I need, and then I will be this person. I will be that changed person. That's backwards. It's got to start with who you're being, that perception of yourself, that belief about who you are, all of those stories that we tell ourselves that are a lot of times subconscious. So we've got to take those stories out and shift them in order to take action, because that cycle will just continue to repeat itself unless it gets interrupted. And so you can work yourself to the bone and still not see change because of that cycle. So it takes time to build the patterns that are keeping you in that stuck space, that are, wherever you go, there you are. So that keeps you being that same person. All the doings almost distract you from the fact that it's about who you're being. So rather than beat yourself up over that, there are things that you can do to start making shifts. And I'll tell you more about those in a little bit. But first, the second mistake is that it's going to take less time than you've set. It will never happen as fast as you think it does. Change takes time. It took time to build the patterns that set up the beliefs, the rules, the stories that you have. It will take time to change it. If you look at history, look at the way the world is now. The world did not appear the way it is overnight. It didn't happen in 1 month or even a couple months or even 1 year. It took time. Now, I've worked in construction, and anytime you're building a building, it almost inevitably takes longer. You set these deadlines and then they always pass. Well, what we're talking about here, when you're talking about change, when you're talking about stepping into something, especially something for the new year, we're looking at building a foundation. We're looking at building your dream life, your dream house. Now, if you need immediate shelter, going out to the store and buying a tent makes sense. That is important to do. If you need immediate shelter, go buy that tent. If you are ready to start building the dream house, the dream life, if you're willing and ready to start doing that work, know that it's going to take longer than you expect and start that process. It's really important to know you're building a house. Construction always takes longer than you expect, and new habits of thought take time to develop. And as I said before, most of these thoughts patterns are subconscious. So unpacking them, as you move along, you find new things and you're like, oh, that's interesting. And then we've got to dig into that and develop new patterns. And as you develop the new patterns, it takes time to really ingrain them the way those old ones are and make them into new habits of thought. So knowing that it's going to take time, it's not like suddenly somebody's going to give you a PowerPoint or give you instructions, a little plan, and it's going to change everything. And not only that, but that brings me to our third mistake, and that is believing that someone else has your answers. No one can give you that plan of, okay, here's the outline to build your dream life. That's maybe their dream life or what they think your life should look like. But when you're talking about making sustainable change, a life that you want to live, an impact that you want to have, you are uniquely positioned based on everything that you've experienced in your life and the gifts that you bring into the world to make the impact that you're here to make. So someone can't give you that plan and create that fulfillment that you're seeking, create that clarity. It's so tempting. It's so, so tempting. And believe me, I have fallen into it before of like, just tell me how to build it. Tell me what materials to use. Tell me what to do, where to put the rooms. It's so much simpler if somebody just tells you what to do. But that's not going to end up being your dream house. And if you want to have an impact, if you want to make change, you can't just do what everyone else is doing. Taking in information, taking in ideas, taking in all of what people are doing can be really important. But it's knowing that you are the expert of your life. Not to mention that it's really hard and takes so much more effort to do things that aren't aligned with who you're being. Just like I said before, when it came to the working hard, if you're not being the person that you want to be, it's going to be really hard to push yourself into doing things. This is why so many people buy courses and then don't follow through with them, or, create a strategy, create a plan, and then they don't take action on it. You get stuck because of being that person. It needs to be aligned. The process needs to be aligned with the outcome. So it's about creating what you want to create based on who you want to be. So when you start looking at what other people have and thinking, that what they have is the best and you want exactly what they have, that's when you start judging your insides by their outsides. You don't know their story. You don't know, even if they've shared a lot of it, you don't know the ins and outs of their life because it's theirs and yours is yours. So it's really important to own that space, own your life, own the foundation that you're building, own the process that you're engaging. So all of this is to say that if you are not where you want to be now, you're not going to buy the strategy to suddenly change your life starting next month at the beginning of the year or whenever it is. But you can get there and you do have the answers, and the process doesn't have to be a total pain in the butt. Actually, the less of a pain in the butt it is, the more effective and efficient you will be in creating that change. So in the next 3 videos, I'm going to walk you through the 3 core components that you'll need to become the person that you want to be in 2019 to make the change that you want to see happen inside and out for 2020. Because honestly, 2019 is done. You're not going to have that kind of change immediately. So don't worry about missing out on the strategy or the thing before the new year, coming up with the whatever it is. It's okay. Start with, what do you want in 2020? And what do you need to do in 2019 to make that change? And with that, I will see you on the next video where we will dive into the first component that you need in order to make that change happen and make it sustainable.